Hi, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Finding Data Friends. Thanks for joining us again. And we are so lucky today to meet a new friend. Kai, thanks for joining us. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi as well. Hi, Jess. Hi, Ben. Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm very glad to be here and also a bit nervous as I haven't been do something like this here yet. So it's, yeah. Um,
Don't be nervous. We are all friends here,
you
so
don't
it's
bite.
all very casual.
You don't bite. Good, good. Okay. Okay, right. I've met you in person before, so I know you don't bite also in person. So but I don't know on that. So about me, my name is Kai. It's pronounced as Kai. Um, I'm a data engineer since like 2008. And since last year, I'm also an data platform MVP. Next month, I'm going to start with a new company. Also, will be a consulting again. I used to be a consultant before, but now I decided to go back to consulting. So next week, actually, so it's Secret Bits. So I'm also attending there and also speaking. So I'm also looking forward to this.
Perfect.
See,
Well, congrats on
yes,
the new job.
congratulations.
Thanks.
We're all professionals here, so I forgot to tell you one thing. Actually, you have been at SQL Bits 2 weeks ago.
We're in the future.
Okay, right.
Congratulations on the new job you just started.
How was SQL Bits?
Right,
How was your session?
right. Yes, sure. I can tell you later. I can tell you then when it's past.
Okay, we'll just patch that bit in afterwards. No worries. Cool. Well, one of the things we like to ask on the pod is what your favorite data thingy is. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a kind of a mix between of DBA and database developer. So what I do is everything that's around from databases. So what I did in the past is also a lot of PowerShell stuff. I had, for example, a larger project with a customer for a bank that meant that I would restore many databases and like that in every second hour or something like this with PowerShell, but also other documentations projects, for example, with Power BI on premises. So I had to implement um, authorization concepts for people so that they can access to the reports or remove them and something like that. So it's actually a very broad spectrum I'm doing. So it's not just a Power BI, it's not just a SQL Server. It's also not. It's a very broad spectrum at the moment.
So to summarize, your favorite data thing is everything.
Sorry.
So to summarize, your favorite data thing is everything data from the beginning to Power BI.
Pretty much it's pretty much everything actually. There's some stuff that actually I would like to learn more, of course, but but in the end of the day you can't really do everything. That's not possible, of course. Yeah.
For sure.
So, what is your session at SQL Bits about?
My session at SQL Bits is about my deafness. I'm actually deaf, so I will be speaking about hearing aids, how they developed over the 1,000 years, so from the Stone Age to the data-driven AI tech, high-tech hearing aids, how they are today. And very much looking forward to it. That I can tell about it because it's actually the first time I'm doing something like this to really go a bit more into the technology thing, also data thing. Of I know how they work more or less. Of course, I'm not. It's not my specialization. Of course, I'm still a data engineer. I can't do everything, right?
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited for the non-technical track at Bits
Exactly.
this year. We were talking to another friend a couple episodes ago, and just like the obviously there's a focus on data as it's a data platform event, but the kind of extra emphasis on the non-technical stuff and the mental health and all that stuff is going to be really awesome. I'm looking forward to a lot of those sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was going to say the same thing, like when we spoke to Rosie about her non-technical session. And it's so great that BITS really made and gave this much room to these I mean, it's still almost 300 sessions at BITS. So there really is this room. So I really hope other conferences follow lead and do the same. Because we always talk about diversity and being more inclusive and all that. A major part of that is for us to understand each other's hurdles and each other's specializations, but also each other's limitations, if that makes sense. So
yeah, I feel like it'll also give us that place where we can learn like about it, like you said, but without kind of it's not always easy to walk up to someone in a tech conference and ask them about stuff that isn't tech, right? But it gives you kind of like a safe space to talk about those things and to make sure that we're all on the same page and learning. Yeah, it'll be really good.
Yeah, I'm also a leader of the virtual user group for DEI. How do you say it actually correctly? So it's diversity.
DEI.
DEI. Okay, DEI. So I think I'm a new successor, Jess, right? Yeah, you had a position before me, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a good group. I hope to see it grow further with your expertise in there.
Hope so too. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I also think these non-technical sessions and groups, they're almost more like a conversation started than, I mean, there's always something you get out of the session itself, obviously, but it kind of takes that barrier away for people to just approach someone and ask questions like, hey, there's something I always wanted to know about, picking up on your example, people being hearing impaired. If you start that conversation, it's so much easier to approach you on that rather than me just randomly pick on you on the hallway and be like, hey, by the way, you don't know me, but.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I'm also going to say that basically it's okay to ask me stuff. I prefer if people ask me rather than they just guess around and just do something they don't know. For example, a lot of people assume I would speak as a sign language, which I don't. I don't speak any sign languages. For example, a sign language interpreter is not helpful for me. For me, much more important, much more helpful are live captionings. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I always try to rather make a false assumption on something, but talk about
Exactly.
Which, depending on who you talk to, this can really turn out both ways. Because I've also had it that people were offended by something I said, and then obviously the only thing I can do is apologize. But
it's not like you can't do any mistakes. I do them myself too. That's totally fine. I mean, and if you ask something that I may not want to answer it, I will tell you. That's maybe I'm in a bad mood. So it also can happen. I'm also having these kind of times, in which yeah. Then I will also tell you that's fine. Usually, I will answer you how it is, and that's easy. You know? You won't be the first and not the last.
I think also, I think also it's a good representation too, right? Like other people who are hearing impaired will see you speaking and see you doing what you're doing in the community and know that they can do it too. So it's super cool that you are open about it and transparent about that, because it will help other people.
Exactly.
For sure. Very cool.
So when you're not sharing and educate people about being hearing impaired, and when you're not talking about data, do you have any non-data favorite things to do? It's totally cool to say Lego, just not pushing you in that direction. But
I would say, my wife would say, for example, I would sit too much on the computer, learn data stuff, and it's also, I mean, it's something I do with passion, right? But if really something apart from that, I also like to go just outside. I live quite outside of the cities, so it's a countryside. There's a forest nearby. Sometimes I just walk there. It's sunny weather. I also really love to travel. I just came actually back from Singapore this week, in Tuesday, and this was really nice. Also to meet family there, have some family and friends in Singapore, so that's a great time.
Oh, nice.
So what event was that in Singapore?
Sorry?
What event did you speak at in Singapore? Or was it just
Yes, I had my parents-in-law are from Indonesia, so they came to Singapore to meet up, and some other friends as well. So we just decided to be in Singapore this time. So yeah.
okay, nice.
Awesome. I would love to travel that part of the world. I haven't done any of Asia, and I would love to get out there and see some of that.
Yeah, Asia is interesting because you learn a lot about the different cultures. The culture is quite different. It's also something I really like to learn about. Of course, my wife is from Indonesia, so it means also I had to learn a lot about that as well. And it's actually it changes your perspective about your own cultures a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
My last trip in 2020 was through Singapore with Mr. Durkin, and basically right after that, the world shut down. I'm not sure if there's a correlation if we did something wrong, which is entirely possible, but yeah.
There might.
I mean, I'm sure you did something wrong. Maybe it wasn't related, but
well, there is that.
I just wanted to say there might have been a correlation, but I'm pretty sure there is no causation to that.
yeah.
Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. Yeah, we've been joking about doing Data Grill in Singapore, just to get back there soon. But
that would be awesome.
Okay, so we got our first speaker / attendee. Thank you for coming to. We still got to find a venue and stuff, but I think the Microsoft
small details.
Yeah, it's.
We'll figure that out.
Let's have that event first, and then find out about the venue and stuff.
Yeah, what would be the big dinner? Like, obviously, probably grilling is more of a German thing than a Singapore thing. What's like the cuisine that would fit into that event?
I mean, one thing that is super big in Singapore is satay sticks, which is basically some kind of barbecue. It's not the same thing as bratwurst and beer, but
sounds delicious.
It is.
I'm in. Sign me up.
See, there we go. That's how it's done. You just tell people about some food, about some satay sticks. There we go.
Do you want to eat some chicken satay? Yeah, I do. Okay, come with me. Get in the van.
Exactly.
What could go wrong?
Oh, a lot, as you can tell by what happened after the last trip to Singapore. But anyways, we digress. See, Kai, this always happens to Jess and I. When we do this podcast, we talk about something and then we go down some rabbit hole. And 7 hours later, we are still not in Singapore. Why?
But we've planned an event.
Exactly.
And we signed William up to do all of the work, right?
Well, that was kind of implied because that's how it goes for the other Data Grill as well. So
it's under the Data Grilling umbrella, so it'll be fine.
I'm there for the food and for the exposure, not for the actual work.
For the exposure. Okay. Hopefully you meant for your brand, speaking exposure, right?
Yes, please.
I don't want the next episode to be getting Ben out of Singapore jail.
Whoa, what is happening? Just 2 weeks ago, Matt Gordon was telling us about how he is SQL at speed all over the internet, and since then I've been trying to find his OnlyFans, but what is going on?
This pod has gone down a completely different route. Definitely check the not for kids this week, okay?
As usual. But we're digressing again. And with that, we're actually already nearing our 15-minute mark. But before I sometimes forget, so let's not make me forget again. If you want to be on our show, just ping Jess or me, and we will put you to the list, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you. We're kind of making the promise to get through the entire list before this podcast ever ends, which might be a couple of years at this point, but that's fine. We're not on Christmas, but open every other Friday. So, but Kai, anything else people should know about you, or how can people get in touch with you if they want to chat more about all things data, about all things travel?
Well, the easiest way to contact me is actually via LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is basically something that I really try to connect everyone, especially people I don't know email addresses or something like this. That LinkedIn is really the best spot for me. So yeah, that's the easiest way.
Perfect.
Cool. So connect with Kai, and with that, Kai, thank you so much for joining us. It was great to see you at SQL Bits a couple of weeks ago.
Yes. See you yesterday.
See you yesterday. I like that. And with that, we see you all next week. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, folks.
See you.